Thank you very much for coming in. It's so lovely to see everyone here in the house tonight. We're celebrating Indigenous Women of Cannabis, and what a celebration it is. This is the first of its kind that I know of here in Toronto like this. And I'm just so happy that people showed up and were excited. The energy even leading up to this event was very great.
Zikiteka timi gamna chasi kurush baraftu fganala tika yikike elam Japanese kuri kurush tek shafti ba ushmat sakti ideata almat broksham kabad makutola ambayad. I'm asking for all the ancestors to please join us in this room tonight. Open up the way for us. We're asking for your help to pour your blessings on our community, on our lives, create peace, love, unity within this time right now. I pray that you cut and clear the way for all of us to receive prosperity, blessings, and all the abundant things that belong to us.
It's a really special gathering that we're having tonight, trying to create spaces that otherwise don't exist. So, as we invoke our ancestors, right? The ancestors that we called just now, as Sister Noni was calling for us to honor them. Those ancestors we called, like Malcolm X and Steve Biko and Winnie Mandela, all of those are the same forces that are helping us to do this work, right? So it's really important that we always want to ensure that no matter what we do, before we do it with the love, with the guidance, the blessing, and the wisdom of our ancestors, yes? Ashe.
It's very difficult for people who are, not from that class, that are women, that are, people of color. It's hard for them to get capital. It's hard for them to get investors. And that's a huge problem because they don't have access to the same resources. And if they don't have access to those resources, they cannot enter the market.
Have you been able to see, or think, since legalization supposedly started in October 17th there, any way that regulations would fit properly, or we could put things together for a craft market outside of the recreational, the medicinal market? And when I say craft, to our ganja, craft is sacrament and traditional medicine in its form, in its natural form. Is there a way in which, do you think that there's a way that could be regulated and standardized?
It's a good question. I don't think that, in the minds of government, that's not even a thought to them, that it could even be used in that way.
But in your capacity?
In my capacity, it's more stretching the rules, I think, in what you can do. As you're saying, you can grow, 4 plants yourselves. You can share those plants. You can't sell the plants. You can share it with, your friends and family. And then if you wanted to engage in any ceremonial practices, you could do it within that arena.
And when I started out, I had no clue anything about ganja, and I just kept going and seeing the different faces, listening to what people are saying. And as you keep going and kind of just making your face familiar, you start to kind of get more information on what's happening, and you do really realize, like what Rena said, that these people have no friggin' clue what the hell they're doing. They don't know anything. They just have the money to basically go and buy all these different fancy stuff to put up to make it look like they're the official voice of whatever. And I swear to you, this is what they've been doing for centuries. They've been creating these industries and putting these big titles, governor of this, minister of this, all kind of different names that make us feel like they're the ones that know and we don't know. And when you actually look behind the scenes, you realize that these people have no damn clue what the hell they're doing. And that's one of the reasons why we're in the situation that we're in as a society. That's why everything is going to the hell, because they've been fooling us, they've been hoodwinking us, and they have no clue.
You have to understand, there's 2 government entities within First Nation communities. There's chief and council, and then there's the traditional people. And that chief and council are put in place to continue to enforce and uphold and and continue, in my eyes, colonize and assimilate our people. So someone on the other side better stand up today, because the light is on. And it's more specifically on in that First Nation community that I come from, Tyendinaga.
I'm not waiting for permission. A lot of people aren't waiting for permission because realistically, I don't know if we're ever going to get that permission. And we're not doing anything wrong. We're trying to show them that this can be done in a sensible way. It can be done privately. It can be that you can include the craft market, and those of us who have knowledge that spans generations, our ancestral knowledge, let us use it. We're not asking for anyone to give us any handouts. We're not asking for a bunch of money. We're just asking for them to allow us to practice our culture and leave us alone. That's all we want.
I mean, if you think about it, say you're a teenager, you get busted with a dime bag, all of a sudden you have a criminal record. At that point, that might affect your ability to get a scholarship.
For me, when I was younger, I actually never really was into weed at all. It wasn't my thing. I just did my homework and watched Sailor Moon, so that wasn't my thing. When I got into, I guess, my early teens and started starting a business when I was 19, I got really anxious. So instead of going, to my doctor and popping pills, my friends were like, smoke weed, and I was like, oh shoot, this is what I should have been doing. So I noticed that when I was doing that, the transactions, the prices, it's all different. It's all a whole new world now where we're going to curated markets and events, which is amazing because I host those myself, but the prices have quadrupled. So if we're talking about providing access to something that people actually need, paying $7 or $8 per gram is okay, great, but when you go to events and people are like, it's $18 a gram and it's blah, 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 it's great, it could be the best anything in the world, but that doesn't really help my grandma or just my friend down the block who's just used to smoking. So I'm looking at it as what everyone on this panel said is 100% true, but just from a day-to-day out of your pocket, it's just more expensive now. And a lot of people don't have the money for that quad, blah, blah, blah. I don't care how fancy it is and how beautiful it looks. If I can't afford it, what good is it to me?
So what I do within my industry is simply facilitate LP that within the industry that does microcultivation. So microcultivation is another license that you can also have within the industry to be a licensed producer, facilitator-wise. So I was able to now be that individual for my brand where I acquire units within an LP's facility and then let those units now be distributed to networks of people within my community or elsewhere. So what I have done with my team is now be a management portfolio in the cannabis space. So if you have an LP, they have a big, large facility, the difference is we don't grow open space-wise. We grow into units, like a condo sector. So we have multiple different condos within the space that you, as a either grower, investor, you can participate in that sector. That sector now is managed by my portfolio and my team by providing you growers, management, day-to-day operation, managing your portfolio for investment, and also make sure we're meeting the requirements that meet Health Canada standard. So right now, what we're doing in this space right now is land acquisition, as we hear right now. Within that, meaning that the individuals of any color, preferably our people of color, because we know right now there's a majority ruling right now. I want to help our people to understand that there's a bigger economical play here than just what we think or see and hear. Yeah. We have the ability to now put our heads up. Don't be shy about it. Someone said it earlier on, I think it was you, to go and get it, right? So the question I ask everyone is, when do we stop playing defense and start playing offense? Meaning that you now can have the ability to build the industry.
Me don't wade in a water. Me don't wade in a water, yo. Me don't wade in a water. She just don't trouble me water. My head is held high in privilege, that the Most High saw me worthy of tests, trials, and tribulations. Their bullets backfired when I rejected hopelessness. because it separated there between myself and I. You see, many are called, but 300 chosen. For we bow only to him, no deity, no possession, no plenty. I take what I need, you hear me? I take what I need, so each eye can be satisfied. I am never full, so I never hungry.
And we are closing up our raffle. We have 5 minutes. We're going to pull the tickets for who wants their tickets to our Ganja Market.